So what was the question again? Oh, why is it called the traffic jam? Well, you know, the reason is, it's because I have two really cool cars. Seriously cool cars. And I love drifting, racing, because I am fast and slick. And plus, I like to create a bit of traffic jam myself with a whole lot of great music. Bulumnaka, my name is Real, your host and DJ, right here on the Today FM Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 p.m. to 7. Right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
Bula FM nambandua na serena iwan siningaw na nipatara ni sibiti ko weekend na diwa en na tini na miniti na may pakuriti wala bengrabe na nontang nonongo kanda na dapat ko anin na kaloko en ay kabenden de babu na tayo wali ni may dapat ko na wani matakabo kan lebu sarati ko na bisere tali oni na namaka ndo ba tayo may kina na kenan daw ro di kanamaki Bula binaka ayo salamilawa do bata kiyawa na batara na wani vio na kaloko moni tiki na barumbuka en ang Bula FM nambandua en na sere
Tonight on FBC News, Bainimarama names those behind 2000 coup. Sodelpa holds last major rally in the West. And UN assessment of Fijian soldiers now underway in the Golan Heights. Welcome to this edition of FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. Prime Minister Varange Bainimarama has for the first time revealed the names of people who were behind the 2000 coup. In a lengthy interview on FBCTV's For the Record program last night, Bainimarama, the then military commander, named two men who he says were calling the shots, while George Speight acted as the front man.
You know, Dubulodo was the main instigator.
In a rare moment, speaking openly about the upheavals of 2000, he's singled out Ilyasa Dubulodo as the main instigator and the man who brought George Speight into the picture. This, according to Bainimarama, was told to him by Madhu Navakasuasua, the man who led CRW soldiers into parliament.
You know, the Wednesday before the Friday when they went into parliament, Dubulodo came with George Speight. In fact, he was even surprised when the CRW soldiers turned up. He didn't know where they came from. Anyway, Dubulodo turned up with George Speight, and he says, "Who's this guy?" And Dubulodo says, "That's George Speight." "Who's George Speight?" "Well, he's going to lead you into parliament." "No, he's a half caste. You lead us into parliament. You are our leader. We are nationalists." And then Dubulodo took a step back and 2 steps sideways and said, no, George Speight is going to take you because he speaks very well. So George Speight took them. But there were a lot of people behind that group that were hanging around waiting for the outcome, which would be for them to be ministers and ambassadors, and some became ministers and ambassadors.
Bainimarama says Dubulodo, who served 18 months imprisonment, got off lightly. Another individual who operated from the shadows, according to Prime Minister, was a former minister in the SDL government, the late Savinada Dronindalo.
A good friend of mine. He was part of the coup in 2000. He was waiting at the Treble Lodge to move into parliament and take over the military part of those George Spaid's group. He was part of the people that were behind the scenes, and he was waiting at the Treble Lodge to go into parliament to look after the military side of parliament. You know,
as the military commander, Bainimarama had access to information that many of us until today have not been privy to. He says some other people who were involved in the coup managed to get away scot-free and benefited from the coup.
They are politicians, the losers of the 1990 9 election from SVT. The people that think if we get rid of Chaudhry, I may be an ambassador or maybe a minister. So they go around and bring up this issue about race. So they tell the Tokay people, come, let's get rid of this Indo-Fijian prime minister. It's no good for us. Our land is not safe. Come. Knowing fully well, these are the politicians, the losers. Bunch of losers, I call them. These are the same group of people lying to our people in the rural areas, the people that ended up there in hundreds, by telling them our land is not safe. Come.
Bainimarama says these people who were behind the 1987 and 2000 coup are trying to split the country along racial lines and are trying to stop Fiji from becoming a united nation. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Fiji first held its fun day in Valilevu Nasinu today in one last big push to attract voters. Party candidates were introduced to hundreds who turned up at the event. People from all walks of life attended the fun day, which has been used by Fiji First in different parts of Fiji in its election campaign. The people of Nasinu not only made the best of amusement rides and games, but also listened to what the candidates had to say. One of them, Viliame Naupoto.
He always tells us that we should not listen to the loud voices of people who are against us. We must instead listen to the small voices that are crying out for water and electricity and a better Fiji.
A campaign blackout falls into place from 7:30 a.m. Monday. Now, the Social Democratic Liberal Party was out in numbers today for its last rally before September 17th. Akasita Tale reports the turnout has boosted the party's confidence, but supporters were told to be mindful of the 48-hour blackout period.
Hundreds gathered at Lautoka Shirley Park to show their support for the Social Democratic Liberal Party, where Sodelpa candidate Ratunainga Malala was chief guest. During the rally, Sodelpa supporters were advised to respect the law during the media blackout that begins from Monday.
We need to remove all banners and posters 48 hours before the election on the 17th of September, and more importantly that we respect the rights of other people, that we live together in Fiji and we respect the laws of Fiji.
Since parties can't campaign during the blackout, Sodelpa candidates and volunteers will hold a service to recognize the work that's been done in the last few months.
First, we will start on Monday. We shall hold the Thanksgiving service for all our candidates, for all our campaigners and for all our volunteers, to thank them for the endless tasks that they have carried out in the last 3 months, and we look forward to a successful election result, Fiji.
Andilitia adds Sodelpa is confident of success after September 17th.
We have been given the freedom to associate, to meet and to speak freely. Again, another right that is enshrined in the Constitution 2013 as well as the previous constitutions of Fiji. So it's been a great day hearing the different speeches, those that were in the program and those that were inspired to give their views on issues that are really of concern to them.
The party also held Talanoa sessions in Amoli village this afternoon. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Now, with pre-polling coming to an end, the Fijian Elections Office is starting to receive feedback on how the exercise went in remote parts of Fiji. Ritika Pratap reports some areas had 100% voter turnout.
The Elections Office is receiving data from all centres. Ships that left for the Eastern Division to conduct pre-polling are also returning to Suva.
We have had a very good response to pre-polling. The Central Division, as you're aware, has recorded up to 92% attendance, 100% attendance in several areas. Currently on average of 84%. The Northern, with some data yet to be sent to us, is on 76%, whilst the West is running on 71%. There is some data in the West also yet to be received by us.
4 pre-poll stations were opened today where 452 people were expected to cast their votes. Pre-polling ends on Monday. with only one center in the west, catering for 8 voters. As the Elections Office turns its attention to polling day on September 17th, Mohammed Sanim says pre-polling teams have set the benchmark for how polls are to be conducted.
Teams doing pre-poll were very well organized, they were very professional, and as I said when I dispatched the team to Lao, ladies and gentlemen, that the teams going out for pre-poll should set the pace and the standard for polling day, and currently with the reports we're getting about the teams doing pre-poll from the Electoral Commission, from the Multinational Observer Group, from our own interviews with voters who got assisted, I'd like to thank all the teams as well for the very, very hard work they have done for setting the standard for 17th of September.
Postal voting is still continuing. Anyone who is still waiting for their postal ballots is being advised to get in touch with couriers DHL.
DHL will be able to advise you where the envelopes are and when it should reach you. The deadline for receipt of postal ballots completed is 6 p.m. on 17th of September.
A 48-hour blackout period on all campaigning, political advertising and any media reports on candidates comes into effect from 7:30 a.m. on Monday. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
And pre-polling was held in Kumi village, Tailevu yesterday. On day 9 of pre-polling, Watisoni Rekonroka reports from Kumi village.
The coastal village is about 40 minutes drive from Korbo town. Life here runs at its own pace. But come pre-polling time this morning, there was a long line of voters at the community hall. For young Amalai Nitaoi, voting for the first time is a great experience.
For me as a first-time voter, I see this as a great opportunity because this determines my future.
This pre-polling center was not only for people from Kumi village. Voters from neighboring Naiburburu and Nabunimono village were also catered for. Tosaiya Tuinambuwanga has voted in a few elections. This time around, he found things much easier.
I really like it because the process is different from the past years.
About 200 voters cast their votes here in Kumi today. However, they hope that their votes will bring them a promising and a better future. Watisoni Rekonroka, FBC News.
Still to come on FBC News, police monitor reports of political vandalism.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. Beautiful song from the group Firehouse and When I Look Into Your Eyes. Before that, you heard from Smokey Robinson with One Heartbeat. We'll take a short break and join us in the next hour for more music from Seal. Bulablaga. I'm DJ Tora. Join me every weekdays, 7 until midnight on the Premium Classics. Right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits.
मेरा चांद मुझे आया है नजर, ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर। छाया है नशा मेरे आंखों पर, ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर। रह जाए ना प्यासा मेरा प्यार, मेरे बाहों में भर दे मेरा यार, ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर, ऐ रात जरा थम थम के गुजर। हाय मिर्ची एफएम पर मैं हूं जितेंद्र शांडिल। शामिल हो जाएगा हमारे साथ टुनाइट शो में Monday to Friday from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. मिर्ची एफएम।
Thank you for joining us once again. Now, United Nations councillors have started assessments on 45 Fijian peacekeepers who were released by the Al-Nusra group yesterday. The UN assessment will confirm whether the men who spent 2 weeks in captivity in Syria are fit to continue with their mission in the Golan Heights. Savara Tambua has more.
RFMF Commander Brigadier General Mosese Tikuitonga believes these men will complete their mission in the Golan Heights, since there is no indication of physical injuries or psychological effect. He adds the soldiers were able to form a good relationship with the Al-Nusra group during their time with the rebels.
The days that they were held captive, it wasn't a normal hostage situation. The first couple of days, there was obviously the mistrust between them and the captors. But as the days went by, they became good friends. They started to share jokes. They shared food. They shared conversations. And in the end, the atmosphere of partying became one of more friendship than it was.
Tigoy Tonga was asked why the Fijians had been taken captive since the UNDOF mission isn't directly involved in the conflict in Syria. He says a board of inquiry by the RFMF and the United Nations will look into what really transpired on that day.
I think we can all understand that the circumstances of battle, of conflict, make their own determination on things, and most things cannot be preempted to the point where you know the intention of the other person. Although you can make predicts on the intention of the other party, but the situation as it actually happens and develops can only be determined by the instant decisions of the commanders on the ground.
A Thanksgiving service will be held at the Lautoka military barracks tomorrow, with one in Suva next Sunday. The RFMF has commended the families of the 45 soldiers and the rest of Fiji for coming together and pray for the safety of the 45 men. Sabaira Tambua, FBC News.
Reports of vandalism of political posters and banners have surfaced again. Police are investigating a report of a banner and posters being removed from the compound of a resident in Makoi, Nasinu. A party banner was also removed from Vitongo Parade in Lautoka. Well, in a separate incident, the personal vehicle of a 45-year-old bus proprietor was vandalized. The complainant woke up on Wednesday to discover someone had spray painted his car with words of support for a political party. Now, all initial investigations have been conducted by police and the reports have been referred to FICAC. The Fiji Police Force has noted an increase in the number of taxis stolen from around the Suva area. Police spokesperson Anna Naisoro says the trend is that people hire taxis from Suva going to other places before attacking the driver or robbing them. Naisoro is advising drivers to be more vigilant when taking passengers and be more cautious of where they park their vehicles.
People may see that roadblocks are erected in certain strategic locations to ensure that that vehicle is not taken into another division. Our biggest worry is that the vehicle is not used for another crime.
And Naisoro is urging taxi drivers not to hesitate in calling into the nearest police station or police post if they feel uneasy about their passengers. The family of Chone Nualase, who lost his life at sea 2 years ago, have received a compensation payout from the Labour Ministry. Lamba Chosese could not control her tears when she was given $24,000 by the Labour Minister Chone Usamate. Chone was 20, working for the Ministry of Works when he and 15 others were sent to Batiki Island to build a nursing station. Their boat capsized and 3 people drowned.
He's a very outgoing person. Many people loved him, and we were actually waiting for him to come back for us to do his 21st birthday. Yeah, so that's why my mom is really emotional when it comes to him.
The money will be shared between late Dualase's parents and siblings. Well, coming up in sports, young karatekas steal the show at Oceania Meet. And primary school netball players to take on New Zealand clubs.
तो आप हमें बता सकते हैं कि जो बलात्कार हो रही हैं इसको हम कैसे रोक सकते हैं। आप हमें अपनी राय दे सकते हैं श्रोताओं की जो आग लग रही है दोष किसका है, किसको हम दोष दे सकते हैं, इस पर हम किसको दोष दें, ड्राइवर्स को या फिर पुलिस को। नमस्ते फीजी, देश की धड़कन रेडियो फीजी 2 पर मैं मोहिनी, हमारे साथ में शामिल हो जाइएगा दृष्टिकोण प्रोग्राम में हर सोमवार से शुक्रवार तक रात 7 से 8 बजे तक दृष्टिकोण प्रोग्राम में।
Ni sabulu bina kana turna kini marama ni bulu bina kana dor bo kini mone lewa. Ni sabulu bina kana mone en go talem no no ni wawe katalau en mataka nei nei.
En vindelana mai nei tasiri.
No bulu maleka go ni milote nei sorta boa.
En lomo ni vanua mai sanganga.
Meu bulare go Samuel Samli. Na nota no ni wawe katalau en radio Fijuan nandomo vitina vonga ni venu. Mai no kini diwa en bi mataka moni tikina pagruka. Nika inamaka.
Leading FBC sports tonight, BLK Nandronga has maintained its unbeaten run in the HFC Fairbrother Challenge, defeating Suva 23-18 at the Lawanga Park in Singatoka. The Stallions led the match 13-12 at halftime. Their Salanaunga coach side will now take on the winner of the B Division, Naitasiri Northern Bulls, next weekend. The KBL Saru Dragons defeated the McCoy Bulldogs 2018 in the Fiji National Rugby League Top 8 final. The match was tied at 12-all at full time and went into sudden death. Bulldogs led strong but couldn't hold on till the end. And in other matches, Saru Dragons lost in its other grades. Pacific Energy Kinoya Sea Eagles defeated Nandi Eels 2014 in the Premier match. The Courts Inter-District Soccer Tournament was announced today. The Fiji Football Association also received a major boost for the tournament after major sponsor Courts handed over a cheque of $115,000. Fiji FA President Rajesh Patel says they have decided to increase the cash prize for the winner of the tournament.
The winner of receiving $18,000 in the Super Premier grade and the Premier to $6,000 this year. And then there's primary school winners and secondary school winners that receives the money.
Winners of the Fiji Sunskipper Tuna National Football League is in Pool 1 with Lambasa, Nandi and Navua. Pool 2 will have Ba, Lotoka, Rewa and Nandronga. The national primary netball team is out to prove its worth at the Pacifica Netball Championships in New Zealand next month. Josephine Navula reports the team is ready to take on districts from around New Zealand.
Going through their paces, Ice family set on the Pacifica Netball Championship. Fiji Primary School Netball Association President Susanna Linga says because these are very young girls, getting the team together was an obstacle.
That we faced was trying to bring the girls over to Suva, especially the Vanuatu girls and the Ovalau girl, to be attached in a school in Suva. That was the hardship that we faced at the beginning of this term.
Linga says all that was taken care of, and since then it's been nothing but training.
After our IDC in Lambasa, we've gathered the girls again on the second week of our holidays. We've had 3 days of solid training with our coach. And this is another session of our training, and we'll have another one in 2 weeks' time.
These 13-year-olds represent the best of primary school netball talent pulled together from almost every corner of Fiji.
We have 4 from Vanuatu, 1 from Moturiki, 7 from Suva, 6 from Nandi, 5 from Lotoka, and 1 from Ba, 2 from Ra.
The Pacifica Netball Championships in New Zealand will be the 10th of next month with primary schools from all over the country competing. Fiji is a non-resident team to feature for the championships. Josephine Nawula, FBC Sports.
Young karatekas have stolen the show at the 2014 Oceania Karate Championships. The 2-day tournament ended at the Vodafone Arena in Suva today. Josephine Nawula has the details.
It was all or nothing as the tournament ended its final day. National Karate Referees Council Chairman Dion Panosian says young competitors have been impressive.
The performance has been quite consistent. There's been an improvement since the last Oceania on the overall standard of competition. So yeah, the region is developing and it looks quite promising for the future.
According to Panosian, karate is a minor sport in Oceania, and to see this level of competition is very encouraging.
Our Oceania region is quite small, so the amount of competition that's available to us is quite different to our European counterparts or our Asian regions, because there's a lot more competition opportunity available to them.
He believes the key in growing the sport lies in promoting the basics and encouraging people to start from the lower ranks.
Overall, with any sport, those basic foundations are very important. We've got to be careful not to get too carried away with advanced skills. We're really concentrate on mastering those basic skills and those basic foundations.
The tournament featured 10 countries with over 200 participants at the Vodafone Arena in Suva. Josephine Novola, FBC Sports.
Generally fine weather prevailed over the country today. Warm temperatures were recorded in most places. Nandi a high of 33 degrees when you look at the temperature chart. Now tomorrow's forecast is for more fine weather apart from a few cloudy periods in Suva and Savu Savu. Now the outlook for Monday, fine apart from brief showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. Recapping our headlines, Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama has named Eliesa Dhuvulodo and the late Savinada Dronindalo as two people behind the 2000 coup. Sodelpe held its last big rally in the west today, encouraged by a large turnout. And high turnout of voters recorded as Elections Office begins wrapping up pre-polling. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News. If you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or hashtag FBC News. That's all from us today. I'll be back tomorrow evening. Until then, stay safe. Nimo demanda.
Ya vino pwede mwanto kwa chukuma ini mwasi kama kwena bula FM namba ndiwe na siri na ngona ni ndende manda kei Central Rental Sapo peke ne kusumu kwa minichi mevaa na koloko. Ni sabula.
Oya wa watisoni ndalai.
Ngona ya mwasi dono.
Nama kikirau mena tolu kene vitu. Ena via kabi moliti kene kwa rombuka.
Gori na lali ne kabi. Bula FM namba ndua ya na siri.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. Beautiful song from the group Firehouse and When I Look Into Your Eyes. Before that, you heard from Smokey Robinson with One Heartbeat. We'll take a short break and join us in the next hour for more music from Seal. Bulablaga. I'm DJ Tora. Join me every weekdays, 7 until midnight on the Premium Classics. Right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits.